morning, good morning, good morning. I just lost a bookmark of mine. I don't know what happened to it from something else I was doing earlier. So I'm going to do that, put that on the shelf behind me. Welcome to Racine Family Morning. Sorry about this. A little bit crazy this morning. Yeah, yay. So much fun, so exciting. I have a fun story to tell you about. But if you do find any value in this content today, do me a favor. Click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. I will say, Living in Racine, the YouTube channel is growing and growing and growing, and I am so grateful for that. Guys, go to Living in Racine, even if you're not, because some of the stuff we share a lot more on the Living in Racine channel than we do on our Facebook page. But if you are just connected on Facebook because you don't do the YouTube thing, that's okay. Leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up, a heart, and share. If you find value in it, share it on your page so that other people find value. And today what I'm going to talk about it's about family. It's very definitely about family, but it's about how family can actually cause some pretty big problems. Oh, my cameras are a little bit weird today. All right. I got to fix those. Anyway. All right. So when we are working with a buyer, all right, we do not mind at all having family involved. And parents can be an amazing resource. There are 2 times in our career that at least that we feel that a family interfered and really caused some big problems. Meaning well, absolutely well-meaning. They were not terrible people. They were trying to protect their children and just didn't understand what they were doing. So I'm going to tell you about one of those today. One of them that we're talking about is the idea of your inspection. Okay, so young man came to us, not married, and looking to buy his first home. Yay! Awesome, amazing. Let's call him Tom. It's not his real name, so that's why we'll call him Tom. So Tom came to us looking to buy his first home and actually worked with Russ. And Russ was his buyer's agent, and they got along like gangbusters. Like, Russ likes to smoke meats, and so does Tom. Tom loves to do that. He's just amazing. He loves smoking meats. It's one of his passions. Russ likes to work on the car himself. He doesn't like to necessarily take it to mechanic, although that's becoming less and less possible with the way cars are, but he really loves working on older cars. This guy is big time into cars. So some of the things that this guy wanted, like a decent sized garage, were kind of deal breakers for him. Understandable because of the hobbies that he likes. He wanted a 2-car garage. Fair enough. We get it. You're into cars and you want to really, work on cars. You got to have a 2-car garage and a decent driveway too. So Russ and him, they found a house up on not the north side of Racine, but up in the Rapids Drive area, up in that area. Really good, solid neighborhood, good price points for first-time home buyers, like excellent price points. You can usually get a home for under $300,000 easy in that neighborhood. And found him a great house. And this is a few years ago, so it was not 300 then. But at the time, it was still equal across the industry as far as like the level of house and the level of income and all those things. So he found him a house, which was great and awesome and amazing. And they put an offer in on it. And yay, it got accepted. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now, on some of the showings that Russ had been on, Tom had brought his dad along with him. And that's great. Russ gets along with other guys too. It's like, yeah, hey, Dad, awesome. In fact, Dad was even younger than Russ because this kid was so young. Not kid. I don't want to call him that. He's a man. This young man, he was a young man though. All right. He was not in his 30s or 40s. So his dad was a little bit younger than Russ as well. And now his dad is a great guy. And there's we're not casting any shade on his dad. Dad's a great guy. When it came time for the inspection, Tom scheduled his inspection when he could be there because he said, it's okay. My dad will go to the inspection and he'll talk to the inspector and he'll learn everything. And if there's any big issues, Dad'll let me know. So, all right. Well, I mean, I will say this, and before we even came across Tom, we recommended this. Since Tom, do not send family members on your home inspections. Don't do it. If you have to, schedule it out a little bit further. take a little bit of time off of work. It is such a big deal that you learn your house. And the home inspector that we use primarily, I mean, we recommend others, but frankly, I don't know why, because there is only one home inspector that I would use if it was my house and I was looking to buy. So I don't know why there's this industry idea that we have to give you 3 or 4 options. No, I'm going to give you who I think is the best. I get nothing from him for doing this, but I'm going to give you the guy who I think is the best home inspector, and he's the person I would use. You are welcome to use anybody you want, though. No problem there. But this particular buyer, Tom, picked our great home inspector, who is awesome. He gives great pictures, lots of detailed information in the report, and this and that and the other. But Tom's not able to go to the home inspection. So Dad goes instead. Okay, well, this happens. Russ also attends, not because he has any suspicions of Tom's dad, but just because it's good practice when your client isn't going to be there. Russ, if a client really truly can't be there for the home inspection, Russ is going to go so that he understands everything, so that when you're talking to the home inspector, if you didn't understand what the home inspector said, Russ can interpret it into real people words. But we don't really have that problem with this home inspector. He's really good at explaining stuff. But Russ still goes because he wants to be fully informed. So Russ goes to this home inspection with Tom's dad and the inspector. Everything goes great. Some minor things in the house. Gets to the electrical panel, and there's a couple of things in the electrical panel. Now, first of all, one of the things that was in this electrical panel is super common. In fact, if a house has not sold in the last 10 years, it will probably have this issue. And it's called double taps. Double taps are when people take 2 wires and put them into one circuit breaker, and they're not supposed to. So two branches of outlets or switches are into the same circuit, and it could overload the circuit. It is not recommended, and it is not to code anymore. However, double tapping was perfectly fine under code up until about 10, 15 years ago. So double taps are super common in houses that haven't sold in 10 to 15 to 20 years. And if the panel has expansion slots, meaning if the electrical panel has more slots, it's a super simple fix. So if it has open slots, all you have to do is put in a new breaker and take one of those wires, put in the proper break. I'm not you particularly, but if you're good at it, or an electrician, all they have to do is open up one of those slots, put in a breaker, take wire number 1 and put it into there. They might have to do a little jumper to extend it if the wire's not quite long enough, but it's not a difficult problem to solve. It is probably about $100 per double tap, and that's only because of the electrician's call out. The actual cost of the electrician of parts is like about $20. Even now, with the cost of parts, a new breaker is going to be around $20. The second problem in this particular panel, so it had 2 double taps. No big deal, because it had like 4 or 5 expansion slots. The second problem was that the air conditioning unit was what's called overamped. It was supposed to be on a 25 amp breaker, and it was on a 30 amp breaker. Again, not a big problem. It's a problem that can be solved simply by removing the 30 amp breaker and replacing it with a 25, and you're good to go. Secondarily, to be real, there are hundreds of thousands of houses with 5 amps more power juice, and it's not really affecting anything that bad. It's not perfect. Okay? So 2 things. No problem. Russ is like, okay, this is good. We can ask the seller to fix these things. It's only going to cost them maybe $200-$300 to have an electrician out here to get all of this fixed. Awesome. And I think there were a couple of other things that they wanted to ask for. So he talks to Tom, his client, and Tom calls him up and says, oh, my dad said the whole electrical panel is shot. And Russ is like, whoa, hold on, wait, what? Yeah, the electric is all bad. It's like terrible. I can't buy this house. I can't buy this house. It's the electrical panel is bad. It's like there's so many problems, and I'm gonna have the house gonna set on fire. I can't buy this house. I can't buy this house. And Russ is like, whoa, slow down, hold on. So what did Dad say exactly? And did you talk to the inspector? And Tom goes, well, no, I just talked to my dad, and I trust my dad. And Russ is like, I get it. But maybe you should hear what the problems are from the inspector, because it seems like maybe there's some misinformation, because that wasn't what the inspector told me, what your dad told you. and your dad may have just misunderstood. Thankfully, Tom, pretty reasonable guy, pretty awesome guy. So we said, Tom, call the inspector. He calls the inspector. The inspector explains that not only are these fixes simple, they are common, they are everyday, and even if these fixes weren't done, the house is not going to blow up or anything like that. It's just best practice, do this. So Tom comes back to Russ and he goes, okay, thank you for having me talk to the inspector. And now let's get this done. So we asked the seller to fix them. Seller fixed them. Good. Closed. Tom is now at the point where he and his wife have just actually contacted us and they want to sell. But you know what? Tom would never have bought this house 8-10 years ago if he had listened to only his dad. And thankfully, Tom was a smart guy. And he said, when Russ suggested, you need to call the home inspector and hear it from the home inspector himself, Tom did. And that's awesome because now everything's amazing for Tom. And you know what's great about it is that Tom now has a nice little family in his house and he's ready to upgrade to something even nicer and something to expand what he already does, his passion and his love for cars, into something even better and bigger. And we are so excited to be able to help them. But none of that would be possible today if 10 years ago he had listened to only his dad. So families, be careful what you say. Also, here's the key core takeaway from this. We are not saying that we don't think dad lied. We think dad misunderstood. We think dad was trying to do everything to protect his son. The key core takeaway from this is go to your home inspection. You hired the home inspector to be your expert. Dad might mean well, but dad's not the expert. He's not the one who knows what the problems are. That's what the home inspector is there for. You paid him a lot of money to give you good advice. Get it from the person that is actually the professional and listen to what they have to say. And thankfully, Tom did, and everything's awesome. But if Tom hadn't, where would we be today? Not us, but Tom. Would he have ever been able to buy a house? Who knows? But the key core takeaway, go to your home inspections. Because as well-meaning as your family might be, they can get some things wrong. Go hear it for yourself. See it for yourself. Learn your house. So important. And we're so glad that Tom did and thrilled about it. And now we tell every single client, don't do what Tom did. Make sure you are at the inspection, and we will support that, and we will make sure we'll get it to work around your schedule if we need to. That's fine. We'll make this happen. Go to your home inspection. And then you can be like Tom, although he didn't go, but he did talk to the inspector. But then you actually know your house. And it's great because the home inspector we use also teaches you about things. Even if there's nothing wrong with the house, he'll teach you where to find certain things and he'll teach you good maintenance. And our home inspector actually gives you a maintenance guide for your house. After you buy it, you know what maintenance and what the regular schedule should be and the things you should be looking out for. And it's an awesome research for a homeowner. So hopefully it's been a help for you today. If you do find any value in this content, do us a favor, click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any content, and share, or make sure that you are giving us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. I do not see any live comments today. I always look for live comments because I do have access to them right up here, but there are none. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining with me today, guys. And you have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, Home Hack Tuesday. Come back. I got a hack for you tomorrow, just like every Tuesday. See you tomorrow at 8:45. Bye.